Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. Um, I was watching Madhouse yesterday because it's one of the last remaining tolerable shows in the Lolcow universe. And more recently, Jaffe set up a line so that people who are not paying to play, buying memberships, can call in and interact with the hosts. So I did call in. My call's right before this call, but this was the call that I think might have gotten them canceled. I don't know. Keem always waffles on his decisions, so we'll see what happens. And I know that uh, Jaffe has talked about how his contract is directly with Keem, so I'm sure that they're looking over that contract right now to figure out like what he is and isn't allowed to do. Anywho, let's take a look at what happened.
Talks to? Fucking talks to. I'm paying attention to what. Listen to that.
Yeah.
Does. I'm going to answer this call all mumbly, see what happens. Here we go.
Okay.
What's going on?
Hey, Jaffe, what's your opinion on Savage getting removed from the universe?
There's, what? A little bit. It hits out. It's fine.
Don't torture the kid, Jaffe.
Hello?
Yeah, so Savage. It's fact.
I can't really hear you. You're breaking up a little bit.
Is that better? Is it better?
Oh, yeah, that's a lot better.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
what were you saying about Savage?
Savage. Some of those back in the penis.
Yeah, I was back to not
Need
being able
this
to hear you,
guy.
buddy.
Oh man, call back, okay?
Jaffe.
That was good. That was good.
Call back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just messing with you. Call back, buddy. Call, please. Please call back. Mom!
He's not going to go back.
Shy Ronnie, you goddamn right. Shy Ronnie was the shit. Look up Shy Ronnie on YouTube with Rihanna and Andy Samberg. It's fantastic.
Sandy Ambler.
That's well.
Come on, Jaffe. I just saw it on the thing, you bastard.
What's up? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, so what's your opinion about Savage getting booted? I have some grievancy with Billy and Xylee.
Well, again, I don't follow this all that closely. My understanding is it had been a recurring problem where Savage and her fans were suggesting, there was a bit of an IRL doxing kind of thing that she was associated with, and
Yes, exactly. And that's how Keem phrased it and put it on his show. He covered it in probably less than 5 minutes. And then this is one of the reasons that people are like, well, who's the new bitch in town? And if you play back and you hear my call, they asked me who I think was the biggest bitch in the network. And I said it was Xylee, because she spent a 2-hour show slut shaming her rather than going for the lead in, which was that she was doxing people and attacking them in real life. Those were the reasons. And the more that these women get into the petty slut shaming, the more they put the entire network at legal risk of defamation.
apparently it had reared its head one too many times for Keem to feel comfortable keeping her on the network, which I totally understand. So assuming I'm understanding the story correctly, I get it. I mean, unless I'm not understanding the story correctly.
Yeah, and have you heard about the whole thing about her showing her titty at fat camp?
I don't think it was her titty, it was her vagina.
No, he said
Well,
kitty.
yeah, that's what I'm
Like kitty
saying.
cat.
Oh,
Her
you said
vagina,
kitty.
heard
I
about
thought
that,
you
right?
said titty. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
kitty.
I did.
Yeah.
I did hear about that. I don't think that's a fireable offense. I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they weren't doing any shows at the time. This was during their own off time. However, it was still considered a work event. And during all of the trainings that I've taken over the years to prevent sexual harassment claims or, any sort of issues in the office, you're supposed to always respect that sort of relationship with your peers, even if it's a non-work event. Now, some companies go so far as to even have policies in place that prevent dating or nepotism, things like that. But not all companies do, and it's not illegal to do that.
yeah. Did you know there were other women at Fat Camp that showed their kitties as well?
Can you tell which app is a trap?
Oh.
Yeah,
who-
there's evidence.
Who else showed their vaginas?
Brentley did. Keemstar's
What?
girlfriend,
Who did?
100% did.
Who did she show them to?
She showed them to Kid Behind the Camera, 100% proven. Tech for tech, if you go to Rewind, go to Glammy Lammy's after party on the wedding, you will absolutely 100% hear Kid Behind the
I
Camera.
know.
He's drunk. He leaves and comes back, and he says, "Have you guys seen Brentley's pussy? I just saw it. It was so tight I couldn't
know.
put my finger in it. It's so tiny. It's just one slit." 100%.
So I guess the researchers need to get out and figure out if that clip actually does in fact exist, right? Now, what's important to note here is when they talk about going in real life, right? Mostly that's about talking about family members or people that you're associated with or your jobs on the side that are outside of the Lolcow universe, right? But Keem Bradley is inside the universe, and she has host abilities, and she goes to all the shows, and she's definitely very involved. She talks about we're making a decision on this or that. So she is basically a business partner in this for you, right? There's no escaping the fact that she is part of the Lolcow universe.
That happened on the Rewind. And my grievances is whenever Billy and Xylee were talking about how they saw Savage showing her vagina, they said, "Look, we're going to tell the whole truth about what happened." And they didn't bring up Brentley showing her vagina at all. Like, they completely just missed that fact over 100%, even though it happened on their own fucking show.
Okay, but wait a minute.
You're going to have to get a timestamp. You have to provide a timestamp of when that happened and, replay it back and talk about it. Because this call resulted in severe consequences for Madhouse.
Hang on a minute now. So, Savage showing her vagina, though, is not why she was let go. My understanding is she was let go because there was a sense that she was continuing to push the possible danger of doxing and IRL swatting and things like that. Is that an incorrect reason she was let go?
Okay, no,
I thought that was
what it is, okay, so Billy and Xylee were talking about it, and Xylee says, when I was there, Savage said that my pirates couldn't find you. But that is hearsay. We don't know if that absolutely happened or not. And then they tried to pile on by saying that Savage showed her vagina, and she was lying about it because Savage made them say that it didn't happen, and then after they decided to fire her, they came out and said it did. But then they're not talking about all the other women who also showed their vaginas at fat camp.
Well, again, I don't think anybody
Women
was...
just stir their kitties around.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was fired because they showed their vagina. I think they were fired because whether you agree or don't agree, and I'm in no position to have an opinion, Keemstar, and I don't know if he was the only one making the decision, but let's just say it was Keemstar, he took whatever evidence was presented to him and decided that for the safety of the brand and fellow humans, it was probably best to part ways. That I can't speak to, but assuming Keemstar had valid data, that makes sense to me. But I don't care if somebody is an adult and they choose to show their vagina. I don't judge that person negatively, and frankly, now I'm fascinated why Keemstar's penis is so small. If you're telling me he's marrying Brantley, and her vagina is so small that it's like, it's kind of like you need like I have these glasses to see really small things, and they have lights on them. Like if he has to wear these when he goes down on her, I assume he hasn't really opened her up at that point. So his penis must be it could be large, but maybe it's very flat, like Flat Stanley or a paramecium.
He's got a noodle dick or something.
Yeah, it could be really big though. It's it's big and long and big and wide, but there's not a lot of girth to it. Nothing wrong with that.
Ugh, fuck.
Yeah, but I just thought it was fascinating.
But wait a minute, let's talk about the vagina. Are you telling me for sure that was a discussion about that young woman's vagina, which is it was so small, according to Kid behind the camera?
Yeah, during the live stream, Kid behind the camera was drunk.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how do you have a vagina that small? Maybe are they really religious? Maybe they haven't had sex. I'm not. None of these are insults.
Yeah.
None of these are insults. I'm saying if you're really religious, your vagina, maybe she hasn't had sex yet. Why are you doing, Tech, why are you doing this?
Maybe.
I'm not insulting the woman. He's the one who called in and said this is one of Keemstar's shows.
Yeah, it is.
And if this had been about any other staff member in the LCU, Keem wouldn't have had a problem with it. Period.
Asking, okay, let's get to what's interesting, which is
Brantley's vagina.
I don't care if it's Brantley's. I'm just saying, how do you get to a point of having a vagina that, like, wouldn't that insinuate that particular human had not been sexually active yet? Like,
I would imagine.
More than likely, it means that if this did in fact happen, that she probably didn't open her legs very wide.
I think so.
Right, that's not an insult. I'm just wondering. Shut up, Trenches. I'm going too far. How am I going? We're talking about a universe where it was content that someone showed her vagina, and then it was called Cootergate. And then everybody was sending pictures of Arby's all over the place. And now someone's calling in and saying there is evidence that another person in the universe, which I don't care what her relationship is or isn't with Keem, I'm not insulting her as a person. A lot of people would suggest that being a virgin until marriage is actually a noble thing. I'm just saying that you're saying she showed the vagina, and what I took away is, holy cow, that sounds really small, like unusually small, and I want to know about that.
I would say watch the clip. I told you the episode. 100% from Kid behind the camera's mouth himself. He says it.
Yeah, so
it's mind blowing.
All you guys are crazy in the chat, acting like I've done something wrong. She's showing her vagina to someone else, which I don't have a problem with either. She's a grown woman. She can do whatever she wants. And I respect everybody's relationship. If that's a relationship.
We need to see this clip or something.
Yeah, send me the clip.
Okay, maybe, like, we don't know. Can we trust this guy's memory?
After party for her wedding. You will see it in that episode 100%.
Look at this. Phantom says, Jesus Tech, you threw Jaffe under the bus on Cafe. I've unsubbed to Cafe after the vitriol thrown out by Ken today. Right. Butterfly says, who cares? I don't care about the drama of the LCU.
Yeah. Well,
I care
this
about,
is what I'm thinking. We'll talk about the tiny vagina.
That's what I'm fascinated by.
Can I
I got a point about
another interesting fact?
Yeah.
That's in another video. Yeah. So their video they did for Groundhog's Day, did you watch that live stream they did where they had everybody on from all the shows?
I don't know.
All right, on that video, Brantley got really drunk, and she said that she wants to make an adult film, but that
For her.
Keemstar won't let her. And so I say, Keemstar, let her make the film. Obviously, she wants people to see her vagina. She did it at Fat Camp.
Who gives a shit? I don't sex shame. I don't see anything.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I don't think anything.
What's this guy want?
Honestly, the guys in the chat who are acting like this is a big deal, you guys have sex issues. There's no shame in a woman being proud of her vagina. There's no shame in a woman saying, I don't want to have sex until I'm married. There's no shame of a grown man going, I've never heard of a vagina that small. I'm fascinated by that. Let's talk about it.
I want to talk about that.
If Keemstar would let her, she's already said she would do it. So why not Keemstar? Let her do it.
Well,
she's already claimed out loud she does.
No, that's
their business.
Yeah, Bunny says that's their business. I agree. I don't care if she wants to do it and her husband doesn't want her to do it, then their relationship and how that relationship is will dictate. ETX says, did anybody in the chat see this about Brantley? I don't recall hearing or seeing any of this. Some people are saying that you're lying and you're trying to trap me. But again,
no, I am not lying.
How would I be trapped? I'm responding to what your call.
Literally, I told you the 2 videos that you can get the information from.
Can you get the videos?
I'm being 100% right.
Get the time. Okay, that's fine.
It's the live stream from Groundhog's Day where everybody was in and Brantley got way too drunk. And you're right, Bunny. It is their business, but they talked about it publicly. So we're allowed to have opinions about something.
When you're on the fucking stage, which is, I think it's been very well defined what the stages are of the Lolcow universe. You're on the stage. It's open season to comment on your content.
But to talk about it further, that's something I don't care about because that's their business.
Those are the 2 clips that I think will prove everything I said.
All right, well, we'll look them up later. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate the interest.
No problem.
By the way, for that caller and for myself, Bunny and Tech Protect, we could not hear you at all when we called in. So I do want to apologize for speaking over you. When I watched it back, I realized I spoke over mostly Bunny, it looks like, but I couldn't hear you, so I didn't realize that you were actually saying something and contributing to the conversation. But anyway, let's see how Keemsburg's out about this. By the way, I did tune into Rewind last night to see if they would actually rewind anything, and they didn't. They were just grifting their audience on some game all night and refused to talk about the Madhouse situation. Xylee just said one thing, which was he shouldn't have set up this phone number to take calls direct. Well, how do you think radio stations do it, Xylee? Huh? You're 50 years old, girl. You don't remember, Loveline? You don't remember trying to call in and win tickets for a concert or something? This is such a foreign concept to you. This is one of the reasons that people see her as the biggest bitch in the universe, because she spews just nonsense. She is a Gen Xer like me and Joffe, who's trying to act like a Gen Z and not pulling it off at all.
Yeah, I don't.
If the clip of Brantley's vagina being shown Israel, the most fascinating part is the tiny vagina part. Right. Not that she showed it. Who cares? That's her business.
And nothing's wrong with it being tiny. And nothing's wrong with it.
I was just going to say, when I was a stripper, there was a stripper there that she was really petite and stuff, like how Brantley is, and she had an itty bitty puss. It was almost like she had no inner labia, and it was kind of like just slit like that, like he was, if that is what was said, then maybe she's just got a puss like that girl's puss, and she's just petite, and that's just
fucking proud with that puss. No problem.
Yeah, some pusses are petite.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hey, some people are tight. Some people are loose. What are you going to do? I hats off to Brantley if you are tight. But that also does not determine how much you can take, right? Like how deep you go, how deep your vagina goes, and how much space you have to work with. Okay? All I'm saying.
My mind was blown about the small part, says Goons. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I happen to have been blessed with a slightly larger than average penis. I'm going, shit, my kids. Jesus. Tell me Sarah's taking a nap, please, Tech. But, you know, I know guys that, nice guys, friends and stuff, that I've seen their penises before. And they're staggering.
Your mic got very low.
I'm going to fix it. And those particular penises are staggeringly small. And I really didn't know penises came that small. And that's not an insult to the guy. I'm just like, wow, that's a small fucking penis. No worries. There we go.
Dude, are you guys actually like fucking serious?
We were just now talking about your wife's vagina, sir.
Are you serious? Because I think that's like that's so out of control.
Well, wait a minute. That's not.
Do you think I'm just going to be okay with like?
Do you have the context?
Of my shows over here saying all this shit.
Well, here's the context.
Of course, I'm going to be okay with it.
Listen,
no, I'm not okay with it.
Well, you don't know what you're not okay with because you clearly don't have the context. Somebody called in.
All I know is you let some caller call into the show.
Are you saying what he called and said is not accurate? He called and said the kid behind the camera at Groundhog Day at Fat Camp because he was upset that Savage got fired for showing her vagina. And I said she did not get fired for that. She got fired because Keem had seen a bunch of evidence to suggest people weren't safe, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then he said, yes, but what about kid behind the camera on camera saying that Brantley, he had come back and seen her vagina? And I said, well, I don't really care.
That's literally not true. That's literally not true.
And that's what we said.
Like, we would have to see it.
And that's
like,
what
Who the fuck is the guy? Who's the guy?
I don't know, but he said he's going to give us a clip.
You don't know the guy that called into your show, Jaffe?
I have his number.
Do you really not know?
I have his phone number.
Do you really not know the guy that called into your show?
No, it's a phone. I don't know. I have his number. I can find it.
It's a phone. Okay, so you mean to tell me that you're letting random fucking retards call into this show and spew shit about...
Keem. Come on. You've been in entertainment for decades, right? You're not ignorant to phone-in shows. Give me a goddamn break with you. That's just amazing. Plus, what makes your Discord produce safer, better callers when you literally just had somebody put on test the other night who threatened to flash their stream? What is your background checking on the members of the Discord? Okay?
About my fucking future wife?
Absolutely.
That's what you mean to tell me? When we set up a safe fucking whole Discord so you don't have random retards calling into the show saying dumb shit.
But that is the entertainment, Keemstar.
I'll tell you what the fucking entertainment is. Yeah. You're fired. Madhouse is canceled. Okay. Suck a dick.
Okay. No worries. But here's what you do need to understand, though. This guy...
Here's what you need to understand.
This guy says he has a clip. And
yeah, so, he doesn't, retard.
So let's say
you're dumb.
But let's say he does, though. Let's say he does.
So that he has stated that Jaffe is fired. I don't know where he's gonna land because Keemstar rarely sticks to actual firings. Period. And especially Jaffe didn't do anything wrong. He didn't. By Keem's own rules for the universe, he didn't do anything wrong. So that's what happened yesterday afternoon.